What's good, guys? This is Unjolly Ranchers, diving into the shadows of life's untamed tales. Today's story is a wild one, driving at high speeds, cop encounter, and almost getting arrested. Now, today's story takes place back in 2021 when I was 17 years old and had my own studio apartment. So, around this time, I had just gotten out of a relationship and I was pretty depressed. The whole day working at Bob's Burgers with my old buddy Conman, he could really tell I was down, trying to cheer me up. So, come the end of the day, we were having a smoke and I told him I was about to walk home. He told me his brother, we'll just call him Trevor for the sake of the story, just got a new turboed convertible and was going to be there in a few minutes, so he told me that they'd give me a ride home. Now, that's exactly what your boy needed. At the time, my car was broken, so been missing those vibes. Anyways, Trevor pulls up with Conman's girlfriend in the front seat and we hop in the back. I dab him up as Connor tells him that I've been feeling low, so Trevor says, I know exactly what you need, high speed to clear that mind. I smiled excited as we pulled out of the parking lot. Now, I thought we were going to hit the highway or back road, but no. As soon as we hit the road, Trevor starts doing fucking 75 and a 35, bumping Rollin' Peace by Kodak and X. There we were, swerving through traffic, dodging cars reckless as hell. Luckily, Trevor knew what he was doing. We had the top rolled down, hitting corners at insane speeds. Now, at one point, there were no cars around us, and I swear we hit like 100 miles an hour in the middle of town. At this point, we could hear sirens in the distance across town. Now, myself living my life like it's Need for Speed Payback, I started directing him to a back road so we could lose any cops that might be following us. We passed a skate park and only had one more stop sign to go through before we were home free. But maybe 100 feet before the sign, the radiator blew. We were at a complete stop and the car shut off. Everyone's looking around like, what do we do now? So I yell, what the hell are you guys doing? Hop out and push. I told Trevor to turn right and pull into the first driveway he saw, which was basically between two houses and a small field right across from the swimming pool and rec center. Once we got the car pushed in, I ran to the front of the car, double slapped the hood and yelled, pop the bitch. When I popped the hood open, the hose was disconnected from the radiator, so I yell, I need water and pliers if you got 'em. Conman ran around to the trunk and grabbed me a gallon of water, searching for pliers. At the time when he was looking, I threw my backpack on the ground. Something I should add, I actually had an ounce of weed and a gram of dabs in my bag. In the state we were currently in, it was illegal, but I wasn't worried about that. I had to get this car fixed quicker than a NASCAR pit crew. It only took about a minute to attach the hose and fill the rad up. I threw the hood down and was about to grab my bag, but at that moment, I see one cop on the left, one on the right, and one right in front of us pulling up. There was no escape, so Trevor told us, be quiet and follow my lead. The cops ran up and yelled, everyone out of the car, get down on the ground, get on the ground. They then grabbed us, forced us over the sides of the car and told us to spread our legs, and put our hands on the car. They then patted everyone down and asked Trevor, were you the one driving? Trevor told him, no, my dad was driving and the car broke down. He's on his way to O'Reilly's right now to get some oil to fix it. My soul sank, dude, thinking, what a fucking dumbass. I already knew they wouldn't buy that shitty story. So there went my loyalty. Better for this guy I just met to dig his hole deeper. I already knew Conman's girl was gonna be completely honest. So I knew us not being the ones driving would probably get off easier if we were just honest. So anyway, there we all were, hands on the car. The cop then asked Conman what happened. He then told them the same story his brother gave, and the cop looked at them both like they were complete morons. There were 6 cops there, and as they talked to Conman, I realized something. One of the cops was barely standing on my drawstring bag with a damn ounce and a gram of dabs inside. My heart was racing. At that point, a cop came over to both me and Conman's girl, then had us follow them, separating both of us to speak to a different cop. The officer told me, so they're obviously lying. Can you tell me what really happened? I knew they were already fucked, and I did nothing wrong unless they found that kush in my bag. So I told them everything, trying to get this over with as quick as possible. Of course, I left out the part of how I was trying to fix the car and direct Trevor out of town, because that's just going to get me in trouble as well. The cop then asked how fast he thought we were going. I told him I was in the back seat behind Trevor, so I couldn't really see, but I'd say we were doing like 70 miles an hour. The cop then thanked me for my honesty and told me to sit on the curb. 15 feet away was Conman's girl sitting on the same curb, so I peep around to see if the cops were eyeing us pretty hard or not. And there Trevor and Conman were, in handcuffs, surrounded by 6 cops. Luckily, the cops stepped off my bag. Anyways, I look at Conman's girl and mouth, "Yo, were you honest?" She shook her head yes, so I gave her a thumbs up and smiled. Right after this communication, a cop walked over with my bag, asking me in a strict voice, "So, Trevor said this is your bag. Is that true?" All I could think was, fuck dude, they searched my bag. Looks like I'm getting arrested as well. So I answered, "Yeah, that's my bag." To my surprise, the cop just gave it to me. I guess he didn't search it, and then he told me that they had gotten over 20 calls about our little joyride, but he appreciated us two being honest and that Trevor and Conman were definitely lying and probably going to jail. But since we weren't the ones driving and we were completely truthful with them, he said we were free to go. Like, wait, really? We can leave? The cop assured me that we were good to go home, so I walked over to Conman's girl and said, "Yo dude, he said we can dip." She then asked me if I'd walk her home because she was pretty shook up over the whole thing. And after that experience, I was definitely down for a walk and to bullshit a little bit about what just happened. So we started heading to her house and she asked me, "Why were you honest? Isn't Conman a homie of yours?" I told her, "Yeah, he's a homie, but I already knew from the start that the cops weren't gonna buy that story for 1 second. I mean, there wasn't even a single person walking that way towards the parts store. And I mean, how the fuck is the oil going to help us? There was coolant all over the place. Better to be honest than get myself into trouble." I then opened my bag and showed her all the kush I had inside. Her eyes went wide and yelled, "Yo, they were stepping on your bag. Did you see that? I can't believe you got away with it. Your ass would have been in more trouble than they're in." I laughed it off and was like, "Yeah, I know. I definitely got lucky." Anyways, she agreed with me, saying they were dumbasses for trying that. Like, with them always watching so much Trailer Park Boys, I could have sworn they were gonna pull some Ricky shit out of their ass. If that were the case, I might have gone along with it, but damn. So we got to her house, and before I left, she asked me if she could have a hug because she was still pretty shook up. Now, that's my boy's girl, but I could see she was really anxious, so I gave her a little side hug to show her I cared, but you know, I'm not about that. So once she went inside, I started walking home. Then in a few minutes, I saw a penny board just sitting in the middle of the road. So I hopped on, skated away into the dead of the night, playing Sunshine by Charlie Heat in my headphones. And that, my friends, is where the story ends. Definitely a crazy one. Got very lucky. If there's a moral to the story, it would have to be, hang out with friends who you want to be like. Don't let anyone else drag you to their level. I hope you all enjoyed this story and it got your adrenaline pumping just like mine was back then. Anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more crazy life stories. Stay tuned for more on Jolly Tales. Until next time, peace.